Well, several high-profile South African companies have announced their intention to withdraw from Nigeria in recent months, including the likes of Sun International, Truworths, as well as Clover. Now, is South Africa's love affair with Nigeria over? Well, to find out if this is the case, joining us now to unpack the challenges and opportunities that Nigeria presents is Finweek editor Yana Moret. Yana, always good to have you with us, and thanks for coming through. Whenever we read these headlines, Nigeria is a fantastic opportunity, and the demographics and the figures speak for themselves. But many South African companies venture in and come back with their tails between their legs. Just paint a picture of some of the challenges that we've identified to South African companies looking to go into Nigeria.
I think it's never been an easy market to do business in, and I think, you know, with the MTN fine, for example, that really illustrated some of the challenges there. But in the last 2 years, it's really been the impact of the oil price on the economy. So it's as basic as the economy's growth is slow to the slowest rate in 30 years. 70% of government revenues are derived from oil. So given the collapse in the oil price, that had a massive knock-on effect. They're struggling to finance their budget. And then they've had to impose these import controls as well as a currency peg, which basically made it impossible to get foreign currency. So I think, especially with the retailers that's left, you know, we've seen Truworths, TFG, you know, the Foschini Group, and I think that's very much a part of the economy is struggling, so consumers are not spending. Plus, you're struggling to get stock into the country. You can't get money out of the country. So if it's not if you don't see it as an absolutely crucial market for you, you probably will rather exit.
What would you say South African companies are getting wrong when going into the Nigerian market? Or is it South African companies at all? Is it perhaps the policy restrictions that have been imposed by the Nigerian government?
I think Diana Games from Africa at Work, who's really the expert that we should be talking about this today, she put it very well. You know, it's very easy for companies to blame the country and all the challenges in the country, when really they should have done their homework much better and their business models are not adapted. You know, I think a lot of people think, oh, we're very successful in South Africa and we will just take this model and we'll copy it there. And it's not as simple as that. So really, the companies that do their homework well, and we see, you know, we mentioned the handful high-profile companies who's pulled out, but there's an estimated 100 companies, South African companies, operating in Nigeria, and many of them do really well. So I think if you know your business and you know your market, then you can probably make a lot of money there.
So true. The list is endless. I know sometimes South African companies have been accused of going in with this sense of bravado and perhaps arrogance. And again, it's not for us to judge whether it's true or not. I'm sure it's dependent on the experiences that are felt on the ground. But coming back to the love affair with Nigeria's economy, though, Diana, the numbers speak for themselves. It's a booming economy, yes, in turmoil at the moment, given the over-reliance on oil, but from a demographics perspective and chasing the consumer base, given that that's still a critical element of the values or investor interest, what's your outlook for the Nigerian economy going forward?
Yes, I think from the GDP data, I think that came out this week, it looks like they might actually avert a recession this year. The IMF was predicting 1.8% contraction, which is quite big. But, you know, there will be a recovery. We won't see the 8-9% growth rates we saw in the 2000s. So I think the forecast is about 2% by 2020. But yes, you're absolutely right. It's a massive population. It's growing. It's young. And it's an incredibly important market. I think the other thing to keep in mind is that, you know, a lot of the companies we've seen really struggling are focusing on the consumer market, and it's fast-moving consumer goods or retailers. But I think there's also market segments that offer a huge opportunity. If you look at the insurers, for example, they've been doing very well because insurance penetration is simply so low, and there are a lot of people with disposable income who needs this risk protection. And maybe just the last point is, I think PwC had a report that came out last year that said Nigeria by 2050, if they play their cards right, they could be one of the 10 biggest countries in the world, bigger than the UK and France. So
in terms of GDP growth?
In terms of absolute GDP. So it will be one of the 10 biggest economies in the world if they can focus on getting the policies right, building strong institutions, diversifying the economy, because that's where the trends are, because they have this massive population. So it is certainly a country to watch. And if you want to be a serious player on the continent, that's certainly a market you want to be in.
So true. Sometimes the number 1 or number 2 economy, depending on which figures you're looking at. But a big thank you once more for your contribution, Yana. That was Yana Moret, Finweek editor.